Trucks are meant to be tough, durable, and ready for anything, but what happens when they're anything but? Instead of reliable workhorses, some models turned out to be ticking time bombs, barely making it to 60,000 miles before falling apart. Today, we're exposing the 20 most unreliable trucks ever built, machines so plagued with issues they left owners frustrated and mechanics shaking their heads. Buckle up, this ride is about to get rough. Starting off with the bottom of the barrel, 20. The 2015 Dodge Ram 2500. Oh boy, where do we even begin? This truck, boasting a 6.7-liter Cummins diesel engine, promised power and durability. Instead, it delivered more heartbreak than a bad country song. The turbocharger failures were rampant, leaving owners with expensive repairs and a truck that barely moved. And let's talk about the transmission, or what's left of it. Clutch problems plagued this model, making shifting gears an adventure you never wanted. Many unfortunate souls had to shell out thousands for complete transmission rebuilds well before they hit 60,000 miles. Electrical gremlins also ran wild, causing power windows and locks to go haywire. And if you lived in a colder climate, congratulations, rust was about to become your truck's best friend, eating away at the body and undercarriage like a hungry termite. 19 and 18. The 2006 Dodge Ram 2500 and 3500. Dodge clearly didn't get the memo about making improvements because these models were plagued with even more issues. Transmission failures? Check. Drivetrain nightmares? Double check. Suspension disasters? Triple check. The 5.9-liter Cummins diesel engine had the potential to be great, but the weak supporting components let it down hard. If you enjoyed playing Russian roulette with your gears, you were in for a treat because the manual transmission loved to grind, slip, and eventually quit on you altogether. And let's not forget about the suspension. Premature ball joint failures and steering linkage issues meant handling this truck was like trying to wrestle an alligator. Add some major rust issues, especially in areas with road salt, and you have yourself a certified rolling disaster. If you thought the Dodge Ram was bad, hold on to your lug nuts, because even Toyota, the poster child for reliability, had a truck that made mechanics weep. Yes, Toyota. The brand that builds cars is so reliable they outlive their owners. 17. The 2001 Toyota Tundra. Wait, Toyota? Is the brand known for reliability? Yep, even they dropped the ball on this one. The 4.7-liter iForce V8 engine was powerful, but it had a nasty overheating habit thanks to a cooling system that couldn't keep up. Radiator failures were common, often leading to severe engine damage if left unchecked. Brake calipers had a bad tendency to seize, making stopping a dicey situation. Differential failures were another common headache, causing noise, vibration, and, in the worst cases, a total loss of power to the wheels. But the biggest sin of all? Frame rust was so severe that some trucks literally fell apart. This issue became so widespread that Toyota had to issue a recall, proving that even the best automakers can drop the ball sometimes. The Ford that should have stayed on the drawing board. 16. The 2004 Ford F-150. If there's one truck that taught us what not to do with an engine, it's this one. The 5.4-liter Triton V8 became infamous for its spark plug ejection issues. Imagine driving down the highway and suddenly, boom, your spark plug shoots out like a cannonball, taking the threads with it. The only way to fix this mess was an expensive cylinder head replacement. If that wasn't enough, warped cylinder heads led to blown head gaskets and coolant leaks. Transmission shuddering made acceleration feel like riding a bucking bronco, and rear axle failures left many drivers stranded. Add weak cam phasers, rusted rocker panels, and cab corners that disintegrated over time, and you have yourself a recipe for disaster. Ford had its fair share of blunders, but Chevy looked at the competition and said, "Hold my beer." Because if you thought oil guzzling and electrical gremlins were bad, wait until your spark plugs start launching themselves into orbit. 15. The 2005 Chevrolet Silverado 1500 The 5.3-liter Vortec V8 was known for excessive oil consumption. And by excessive, we mean some owners had to add a quart of oil every 1,000 miles. That's more than some two-stroke engines. The cause? Worn piston rings and valve seals leading to premature engine wear and tear. But wait, there's more. Faulty ABS sensors caused erratic braking performance, electrical system malfunctions drove owners insane, and transmission failures made towing a risky endeavor. This truck was more of an expensive hobby than a reliable workhorse, and Chevy still wasn't done making mistakes. 14. The 2008 Chevrolet Colorado. This mid-sized truck proved that innovation doesn't always mean reliability. The 3.7-liter inline-5 engine had a high rate of cylinder head cracking, leading to overheating and catastrophic engine failure. And if the engine somehow survived, the fuel injectors were waiting to ruin your day by clogging up and causing misfires. The transmission also had its share of problems, with shifting issues and premature failures becoming the norm. Throw in widespread electrical issues from failing instrument clusters to completely dead power windows, and you had a truck that made even short commutes feel like a gamble. Fast forward to a newer model, same old problems. 13. The 2015 Chevrolet Colorado. Chevy clearly didn't learn their lesson because the newer Colorado still suffered from major reliability issues. The 3.6-liter V6 engine had frequent transmission failures, leading to jerky gear changes, hesitation when accelerating, and outright transmission shutdowns before reaching 60,000 miles. The electrical system was a nightmare, with infotainment system glitches and backup camera failures, making daily driving a frustrating experience. And just when you thought it couldn't get worse, poor build quality led to leaks, damp interiors, and suspension components that wore out prematurely. These were all like the usual suspects in a crime lineup: expected, guilty, and downright disappointing. But then, out of left field, comes the name Mazda. Wait, Mazda? The brand known for zippy little sports cars and fun-to-drive sedans? Yep, they tried their hand at trucks, and well, let's just say it didn't go well. Their attempt was like watching a penguin try to fly, ambitious but doomed from the start. 12. The 2003 Mazda B-Series. The 2003 Mazda B-Series is a prime example of how even a reputable automaker like Mazda can stumble when venturing outside its comfort zone. Known for producing fun and reliable sports cars like the MX-5 Miata, Mazda's attempt at building a pickup truck fell far short of expectations. The B-Series was essentially a rebadged Ford Ranger, and while the Ranger itself had its share of issues, Mazda's version seemed to amplify those problems while introducing new ones of its own. One of the most glaring issues with the 2003 Mazda B-Series was its cooling system. Radiators and water pumps were prone to frequent failures, leaving many owners stranded with overheating engines. This wasn't just a minor inconvenience. Overheating often led to blown head gaskets, which could turn a routine drive into a costly repair nightmare. The engine's inability to handle heat efficiently made the B-Series a risky choice for anyone planning to use it for towing or long-distance travel. These mechanical flaws, combined with a lackluster interior and outdated design, made the B-Series a hard sell in a competitive truck market. 11. The 2007 Chevrolet Silverado 1500. The 2007 Chevrolet Silverado 1500 continued a troubling trend for Chevrolet, proving that even a well-known brand can produce a dud. This model inherited many of the issues that plagued its predecessors, with excessive oil consumption being the most notorious problem. Owners frequently reported having to add oil between changes due to worn piston rings, a flaw that not only increased maintenance costs, but also posed a risk of engine damage over time. Safety concerns added to the Silverado's list of problems. Faulty airbag sensors were a significant issue, raising questions about the truck's reliability in the event of a collision. Electrical gremlins, including malfunctioning gauges and faulty wiring, further eroded confidence in the vehicle's dependability. Despite its rugged appearance and Chevrolet's reputation for building tough trucks, The 2007 Silverado 1500 was a disappointment. Its combination of mechanical failures, poor build quality, and safety concerns made it one of the least reliable choices in its class. For anyone seeking a dependable pickup truck, this model is best left in the past. 10. The 2013 Ram 1500. The 2013 Ram 1500 looked great on paper, but in reality, it was a breakdown waiting to happen. The 3.6-liter Pentastar V6 had a nasty habit of cracking its cylinder heads, leading to overheating and eventual engine failure. Even the 5.7-liter Hemi V8 wasn't safe, as fuel system failures caused random stalling, sometimes right in the middle of traffic. Beyond its engine troubles, the four-wheel drive system had a mind of its own, often refusing to engage or disengage when drivers needed it most. To make matters worse, the interior was a disaster. Peeling dashboards, ripped seats, and loose trim pieces made the truck feel cheap and poorly built. With so many mechanical and cosmetic failures, this truck left thousands of owners regretting their purchase. The Ram had its fair share of issues, but at least it knew what it was. A truck, on the other hand, decided to get creative and mix an SUV with a pickup, and let's just say, the results were about as successful as a microwave steak. Enter the Ford Explorer Sport Track, a vehicle that tried to do it all, but ended up failing spectacularly in the process. Number 9. The Ford Explorer Sport Track. Ford had a great idea when they combined an SUV with a pickup, but execution was another story. The Explorer Sport Track suffered from excessive frame rust, weak suspension components, and a 5-speed automatic transmission that was prone to failure before hitting 100,000 miles. On top of that, the plastic interior panels were flimsy and prone to cracking, making even a well-maintained truck look worn out in just a few years. Another major issue was the timing chain tensioners, which would fail unexpectedly, leading to catastrophic engine damage. Drivers often had no warning before their engines completely shut down, leaving them stranded on the side of the road. Despite its versatility, the Sport Track became known as one of Ford's most unreliable trucks. Number 8. The Chevrolet Colorado. The first-generation Chevrolet Colorado and GMC Canyon were meant to be tough and reliable, but they ended up being some of the worst mid-size trucks ever made. The 3.5-liter inline-5 engine was a strange choice and had countless issues, including cylinder misfires, excessive oil consumption, and valve seat failures that led to a complete loss of power. The electrical system was another disaster. Owners reported random warning lights, faulty instrument clusters, and even complete electrical shutdowns while driving. Add in a poorly designed suspension that made for a rough ride, and you had a truck that was uncomfortable, unreliable, and expensive to repair. Number 7. GMC Canyon First Generation. One of the biggest complaints was its transmission problems. Rough shifting, hesitation, and even complete transmission failure were common. These issues were particularly noticeable in cold weather, making the truck unreliable in certain climates. Owners often found themselves dealing with jerky gear changes and unpredictable performance, reducing overall driving confidence. Beyond the transmission, the drivetrain was another weak point. Many owners reported transfer case failures, differential issues, and faulty drive shafts. These problems often result in strange noises, vibrations, or sudden loss of power, even under normal driving conditions. Number 6. The Nissan Titan Early Models. Nissan tried to take on Ford and Chevrolet in the full-size truck market, but the early models of the Titan were plagued with problems. One of the biggest issues was the rear axle, which had a tendency to fail without warning, often leaving drivers with a locked-up differential at highway speeds. Transmission failures were another major headache, with many trucks needing a complete rebuild before even reaching 80,000 miles. The Titan also suffered from excessive rust, particularly on the frame and undercarriage, which led to serious safety concerns. While later models improved, the early Titans remain a cautionary tale of how not to build a full-size truck. The durability master, again. Number 5. The Toyota Tundra First Generation. Toyota has a reputation for reliability, but the first-generation Tundra was an exception. The biggest problem was frame rust, which became so severe that Toyota was forced to recall thousands of trucks and even buy back some from frustrated owners. The rust was so bad that the frames were literally crumbling apart, making them unsafe to drive. Engine sludge was another issue, especially in the 4.7-liter V8, which would develop severe oil gelling if maintenance wasn't perfect. Many owners found themselves with completely ruined engines long before they should have needed a replacement. While Toyota eventually addressed these issues, the damage to its reputation was already done. Number 4. Jeep Gladiator. Even modern trucks aren't immune to reliability issues, as the 2020 Jeep Gladiator proves. One of the biggest complaints was its electrical system, which caused headaches for many owners. Problems ranged from glitchy infotainment screens to keyless entry failures, power window malfunctions, and even engine management issues. These faults made the truck unreliable and frustrating to own. The drive system was another weak point, with many owners struggling to engage or disengage four-wheel drive properly. Strange noises from the transfer case raised concerns about long-term durability and off-road performance. Number 3. The Chevrolet Silverado Hybrid. Chevrolet's attempt at making a fuel-efficient pickup resulted in one of the most confusing and unreliable trucks ever built. The hybrid Silverado combined a V8 engine with an electric motor, but the system was overly complicated, expensive to repair, and frequently failed. The battery pack had a short lifespan, and replacing it was ridiculously expensive, often costing more than the truck was worth. On top of that, the hybrid system did very little to improve fuel economy, making the entire concept pointless. Owners found themselves dealing with a truck that had all the downsides of a hybrid without any of the benefits. The worst of them all. Number 2. The Dodge Dakota, final generation. The last generation of the Dodge Dakota earns the title of worst truck ever made due to its catastrophic reliability issues, poor build quality, and terrible resale value. Dodge cut too many corners with this model, resulting in weak transmissions, failing ball joints, and an engine lineup that guzzled fuel but barely produced any power. One of the biggest complaints was the horrible electrical system, which caused dashboard failures, stalling issues, and power window malfunctions. The Dakota was also infamous for its poor safety ratings, making it a risk for both drivers and passengers. After years of bad reviews and declining sales, Dodge finally pulled the plug on the Dakota, ending its run as one of the worst trucks in history. So you might be wondering, where's the number 1 spot? Which truck takes the crown for the absolute worst of the worst? Well, we've saved that special honor just for you. Any guesses? Think of the most frustrating, breakdown-prone, wallet-draining truck you can. Whether it was engines that exploded, transmissions that failed, or frames that rusted away, each of these trucks left their owners frustrated and out thousands of dollars. If you're thinking about buying a used truck, do your research, because the last thing you want is to end up with one of these nightmares. Which of these trucks surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more crazy automotive stories.